Yep, so this actually is my last country before Turkey. I'm in Greece right now. I stopped and camped in Mesopotamia. As you can see, managed to camp in the same field. It's a load of beehives by the looks of things. But I didn't get stung, so all is good, all is well. Yeah, I feel like I kind of want to get to the destination now, in a way. It's turned out quite different than I expected, but in many ways, you know, it was gonna be something different than I expected anyway, because it wasn't very planned, the whole thing. So it was just gonna be what it was gonna be. But I've loved the riding, loved the views. It's just been so much to see, and it's a little bit kind of wrong in a way that I haven't been able to explore every single thing that I've seen. But I'll talk more about that another time, because that's one of the things that's turned out different with the trip than I expected. But man, yeah, so in total it's going to be 14 countries that I've traveled through. So that's pretty epic for a trip of this length. So it's currently Wednesday. So it's like I'm 10 days. I think I've got a couple of days left. So my timing is pretty right in terms of when I'm going to arrive. But today I need to sit down, look at the map, see where I'm going, see what I want to hit, and yeah, we'll take it from there.
Ultimate in like randomness, I'd parked up my bike just to get some breakfast at a local cafe, and a guy was trying to park his car next to my bike. So anyway, I kind of helped guide him in, and his name is Kiri, and he's an Australian guy. His parents are Greek, so he's down here to do his military service, a little bit different stuff, and we just got chatting. We've been chatting for the last half an hour. And he said, mate, I'm here for a few hours, why don't you just chuck your stuff in my flat and then you can go off and explore, and then we'll meet up for a coffee before you go. So that's what I've just done. I've just put my stuff in his flat. It's random when you're out traveling that you meet people, and just like random encounters with people that you're not expecting. And so anyway, I'm going to catch up with this guy a little bit later on, do a little bit of filming of him as well. He's an interesting guy as well, into his like drifting. So he's got a drifting car on a drifting track somewhere close by that he goes and does his thing. And so yeah, now I'm going to go and explore a little bit in Thessaloniki, see what it's all about. There are coffee shops and little patisseries all over the place. So I don't think I'm going to be able to stick to the kind of the low carb diet today. That ain't going to work. Now that hospital there, Hospital of Infectious Diseases, that is not somewhere I want to work. I've got still probably 3 days of the trip left, something like that. But because I'm only I'm in my last country before hitting Turkey, it feels like I'm coming towards the end. And I guess, I'll be processing this trip for a while, because there's some things that have worked out really well and other things that haven't. And, nothing major has gone wrong, that's for sure. It's been great. I've enjoyed all of it, actually. But one of the things you realize is that, you're kind of getting yourself out of work mode and into leisure mode is really, really hard. I find that so hard anyway. It certainly doesn't come naturally to me at all. I kind of feel like I should be at work all the time, and I hate that, because you shouldn't be at work all the time. You should be enjoying life more and probably working less. And that doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean that you're not kind of willing to work or anything like that, but I feel like my life is just consumed by these kind of never-ending lists of responsibilities that I have to deliver on. And if I'm honest, it's really tired me out, and I don't know why. It may be partly because of my age. I'm 47 now, and I know that doesn't class me as an old person by any stretch. I'm miles away from retiring, or at least should be, in terms of kind of retirement age. But I find myself wanting to lay down responsibilities and actually get a bit more serious about enjoying life more, experiencing things more, enjoying things more. Maybe me and Lillian just kind of sacking it all off and going away for a year and doing some stuff that we know we can do now because we got health on our side. We don't know if we can do in 10 years time. We don't know if we can do in 20 years time. We don't know if we can do in 5 years time. I guess what you want to do, you probably should do, because you may well never get the chance to do it. There has to be a way of kind of like laying off some of the responsibilities and taking on a bit more taking a bit more seriously the fact that life is finite, I suppose. And that it just comes and it goes so quickly, and all you've really got left at the end of it is memories. You haven't really got any use for the money that you've earned, apart from creating memories. You haven't really got any use for all the effort you put into kind of pointless things. I've had loads of these thoughts for so long, but coming away like this has kind of made me think, actually, they need to go from thoughts to action, and needs to go from idealism to actual kind of practical outworking in my day-to-day life. So if nothing else, this trip has been absolutely amazing for that. And I think when I do another one, not if, there'll be certain things that I will be prioritizing, and I'll talk more about those at some point, but when I do a bit of a kind of a debrief on how this has gone. But this is just the start of many adventures, I think. Looking forward to it.
I am on my way to Kavala Beach, but I'm telling you, this is so hot today. It is so hot. Here we go again. Okay, so this is kind of, in some ways, like the beginning of the end, I guess. It's been absolutely amazing. It feels like it's gone really fast, but at the same time, I've been so many places and done so many things and covered so many miles on the back of the bike that it feels like a long time. I've done more thinking in this last kind of 10 days than I've done in a long time, and I'm quite a thinker, so that's saying something. But yeah, I guess what I thought the trip was going to be and how it's turned out have ended up being quite different. Although I tried not to kind of predetermine and plan the trip in such a way that it wouldn't just kind of unfold naturally and organically. But at the same time, you have this kind of idea about what it's going to be. I thought I was going to meet loads of people, eat loads of different food, and kind of make a bit more of a kind of, it would be a bit more kind of travel vloggy type thing. And it just hasn't turned out that way. I've had a mad busy couple of years, and I just found myself kind of processing that really, and whether I want that to be continue to be part of my life, like this madly busy. And I think, you know, I have spoken about it with Lilian on a number of occasions before, but to actually kind of turn down the speed a little bit, to kind of stop being so hectic, I think is really important for me. I've got a busy year the rest of the year, but I think I'm going to kind of celebrate Christmas in a way. I'm talking about Christmas is still in August, halfway through August, but I think I'm going to celebrate Christmas in that it's the start of a bit of a new season of not being so mentally busy. So I'm going to start winding things down just a little bit. And that's not to say that I'm going to stop working or anything like that. I can't do that. But just the amount of stuff that I take on is probably going to have to change, and the way that we structure things is going to have to be a little bit different going forward. And if it's just for that alone, then so far this trip has been completely amazing and really helpful. And I've just let my mind kind of run with the thoughts that come into it and try and process stuff as I go. One of the interesting things that happened right at the very start of the trip was my earbuds that I wanted to use to listen to music and podcasts and all kinds of stuff as I was riding. They malfunctioned massively so that the Bluetooth connection wouldn't work anymore. And even when it did work occasionally, I had this issue where the helmet pressed them into my ears so much that it made my ears hurt. So in the end, I just took them out and just put them in the bag and thought, you know what? It's going to be just earplugs to stop the noise of the wind, and I'm just going to be alone with my thoughts. And I thought, is this a good idea? Because sometimes just being alone with your thoughts is not very constructive, but it's been the best thing. So I'm really pleased that my earbuds stopped working. And just to kind of aim the bike in the right direction and not have a destination necessarily each day. I know my final destination is down at our place in Turkey, but on a day-to-day basis, I just knew that I had to cover approximately 400 kilometers, about 250 miles ish, somewhere between 200 and 250 miles. And when I got there, I would find some place to stay, either campsite, sleep, wild camp, or a hotel. Now, this is the first time I've done the hotel thing. The rest of it has been wild camping or camping site, apart from when I went to visit my friends Matt and Rowan in Bosnia, which was a real highlight, by the way. So good to see those guys again and to see that they're doing so well. Yeah, tonight I'm going to pop out, get some good Greek food and a couple of cold beers and kind of celebrate the fact that so far this has been fantastic. I'll be crossing the border into Turkey tomorrow. That's my final border crossing. And yeah, I'm really grateful for this. Really grateful Lilian gave me the kind of the pass to be able to do it as well. And it's been good for me, good for my soul. I've had a couple of days that have been a little bit like, what the heck am I doing? And, one day particularly where I phoned back to Lilian and had a good chat with her and wasn't in the best way, to be fair. And realized I really needed to talk. I really need to offload some things. And us guys, I'd say we're pretty rubbish at that on the whole. I'm pretty rubbish at it. I don't communicate very well about what's going on in me, in my head and my feelings and stuff. And I think there's a lot of blokes that don't do that very well. And I've often said to myself, I should really do something about that, bring guys together in some way. And I just haven't done it, because I think, it's another thing I've got to organize, another thing I've got to do, and have I got the time for this? But my time gets filled up with other stuff that maybe isn't that important all the time, but something like this perhaps really is, and maybe I should go down that path again and reaching out to some guys and getting together in some way, maybe using motorcycles as a way to meet up. I don't know, but not all guys are with the motorbikes. I get that. But yeah, lots of thoughts. I'm offloading now to the camera, and I really wanted it to be a bit more constructive than this. But that's how this whole trip has been. I've wanted certain things, and it ended up being very different from that. And in many ways, probably exactly what I've needed. So I'm super grateful for this trip and everything I've experienced. And I'm gonna go and get some food now and continue thinking and talking and rambling and processing what I've experienced probably for a long time to come. But until then, I'll catch you when I've got over the border into Turkey.